time. So want to go through a case study with one of our Fortune 100 clients who, not going to name in this one, but still very exciting results that we want to go through. So I'm going to start off first with, why do we do what we do, right? We do what we do because our goal and our mission is to empower control room operators to automate the energy industry. We really believe as a company that those folks sitting in that chair, they really are the bottom line for these organizations. They're the ones that operate these multi-billion-dollar assets. So we want to empower them with the best tools out there to do their job. So I love the pilots and planes analogy. Pilots, you're not going to fly from Houston to Calgary without Autopilot software because flying a plane is complex and really critical. We think the same thing about our critical energy infrastructure that powers our entire economy. We want to empower these control room operators with Autopilot software or the equivalent of, right? They've got the safety constraints, everything's excellent. How can we get better? That's really what we're after. In terms of the problems in the industry that we were looking to solve and what we were seeing that we felt that a tool that enables more autonomous operations could solve was, environmental disasters. So 95% of environmental and safety incidents that happen in heavy industry are a result of human error. How can we do something about that, right? Number 2 was business discontinuity. Over time, with an aging workforce, we have less and less people going into these types of roles. How do we start creating some continuity between different people? When people change jobs, millennials and zennials and Gen Z, we like to change things up. How do we start creating that business continuity? Of course, then there's also the big one, which is inefficient operations. So I like to think of this as supply chain optimization. Folks think about this all the time with respect to like Amazon. But are we thinking about it with respect to our energy supply chain? Oil field to the midstream to refining to gas stations. Not really thinking about it, but how do we enable that? We can do all the simulations we want, but if we don't have consistency at the ground level, at the heart of it all where the control room operators are, we're not gonna be able to achieve it. So that is what we have built pipeBOT for. And what we did in early days of production runs, and that's what this case study is, we wanted to do an apples to apples comparison of control room operator and pipeBOT. So what we did is over about a 3 to 4 month time frame, we monitored, we collected data from when pipeBOT was operating versus when it wasn't, and then we're able to compare apples to apples for flow rate changes, swings, managing batch transitions for control room operators versus what pipeBOT is doing and how much it lowers their workload or improves the operation. The improvement areas that we were targeting and we wanted to really validate early on in these production runs was operator well-being. So are we actually able to significantly reduce the command clicks, lowering those potential incidents? Can we actually do that? Rateability. Are we able to decrease the variability in flow rates such that we're enabling rateability for oil schedulers and commercial teams? Revenue maximization. Is there proof that by implementing pipeBOT, you can push more volume through existing assets by giving your control room operators these kinds of tools? That's what we wanted to look at. We also saw 2 subsidiary benefits, which were very exciting to us, that we weren't really expecting around alarm management and pressure variability. In hindsight, of course, it's like, oh yeah, we should have expected that. But at the time, weren't really thinking about it. And so these are really exciting results. Everybody loves results. So we're going to start first with revenue maximization because that's the one that I find very compelling, right? And obviously efficiency has a bunch of knock-on effects, in terms of sustainability, in terms of carbon emissions, but also in terms of revenue and profitability for these companies, right? So that one we wanted to look at first. What we've seen is with pipeBOT only is 0.5 to 4% additional volumetric throughput compared to what a control room operator could achieve. If you put that on an apportioned pipeline that is connected to a refinery that has capacity and you own the product in that line, you're talking about compounding high margin revenue, which is extremely appealing. So, if we think of it, we're as an employee at a midstream operating company, that actually is going to impact your share value, which is pretty cool. So we validated for sure that that pipeBOT does increase and maximize revenue for our clients. Rateability, okay, what we saw there was a 65% decrease in flow rate variation. That wasn't a function either of oil scheduling more consistent flow rates. That was just control room operators' ability to hold a steady flow rate versus pipeBOTs. pipeBOT could hold a steady flow rate much more consistently for control room operators, which enables oil scheduling to have more predictability around the volumes that they're scheduling. Commercial teams, more predictability around what you're going to sell. Same thing with tank scheduling and tank volumes and leasing. So lots of opportunity there with rateability being a massive benefit. And then operator wellness, of course, and what we saw with that apples to apples comparison of reduction of control room operator command clicks. We saw 92% reduction. So here, I love this graph because it shows each of the different procedures that control room operators were doing. So startup, shutdown, swings, batch transitions, and showing, in yellow, that was what control room operators were doing. And then in gray, when they had pipeBOT, that's how much work it was. It's actually a drastic difference and really cool when it comes to that value of human error and mitigating any human error down the road. So we were pretty pumped about those results. So the subsidiary benefits that we weren't anticipating, but we're very pleasantly surprised by, was in alarm management, we actually saw a 65% reduction in alarm occurrences, a 60% reduction in duration, and a 40% reduction in magnitude. So alarms, some folks may call them alerts. During this case study, we did not have any critical alarms, so I want to make sure that that's super clear. What this specific company calls them alarms, but really for most companies you'll call them alerts. So it's a control room operator will set that alert in the system so that they know that they need to kind of go and take some action, right? What we saw with pipeBOT though is that the control room operators, those alerts were never pinged, so they never had to go and take action, or at least significantly less. And then when they did have to take action, they're able to address it so much quicker because there was less. And then the magnitude is smaller, so if we did brush up against one of those alerts, a control room operator might brush up with a 10 or 20 kPa difference, and we're hitting like 2 or 3. So much more consistent operation, which we're very excited about. We also saw pressure variability reduction. That one we're really excited about too, because in liquids pipelines operation, especially at swing sites, you see a lot of pressure cycling. Pressure cycling over time really impacts asset integrity and can lead to catastrophic failures, which is absolutely something that we never want to see. So that reduction in pressure variability in those transient operations is really positive when it comes to the long-term lifespan of these assets, which is really important if we're not building many more these days. And then just the safety of these operations. So we want to do a longer-term study on that to make sure that we really understand what those benefits are. But I think most people who have knowledge in pipeline asset integrity will quickly understand that that's a positive thing. So what's in the future? Well, we're very excited about the results of the case study because all these other videos that you folks can go watch, they're essentially touting these types of numbers. So the point of this video is like, hey guys, we did it, it's real, and it's awesome. And then future, we've talked about some of these other add-ons that we have. So we have commercialized maxOPT. Looking forward to getting some case study results there. Same thing with leanOPT. So once you integrate those with pipeBOT, you're getting even more volumetric throughput on your apportioned lines connected to those refineries for that high margin revenue we love. And you're able to do that at the lowest hydraulic pressure profile required to achieve those flow rates, which results in power cost savings and reduced emissions. Such a win-win-win. So we're really loving that. If folks want to learn more and you want to not have to pause the video to check out these graphs and you want to look closer, please go to the website www.CruxOCM.com and we have this case study for download. Definitely go ahead and do that. Also, below in the comments, would love to hear your thoughts on this. Would love to hear, what folks think and how we can make these products even better. Would really love to hear that. So please comment, like and subscribe, of course. Check us out on LinkedIn and head on over to the website and download this thing because it's fun.